and Liberty, Upshur, Titus, Franklin, Morris, Caston, Camp, and Trinity, Thomas, Seminole, Grady, Doherty, Haskell, Hodgman, Finney, Gray, Muhlenberg, McLean, Montgomery, Hart, Green, Taylor, Casey, Clay, Green Lake, Salt Lake, Red Lake, Bear Lake, Lake, Peninsula, Lake of the Woods, Fond du Lac and Lac, Palma, Lax, Pulaski, Jackson Woods. Putnam, Porter, Pike, Anoka, Dallas, Camden, Hickory, Coffee, Cannon, Claiborne, Campbell, Douglas, Hanson, Gregory, Bertie, Beaufort, Bladen, Brunswick, Buncombe, Burka, Barris, Clay, Hardin, Bracken, Logan, Morgan, Osceola, Bristol Bay, Bosque, Brazos, Brewster, Blanco, Bastrop, Bowie, Burleson, Angelina, Atascosa, Nacogdoches, Anderson, Adams, Travis, Adams, Thomas, Reno, Harvey, Wichita, Caddo, Bossier, Union, Webster, Fayette, St. Clair, Nemaha, Alice, Fannin, Burnett, Llano, Guadalupe, and Liberty, Upshur, Titus, Franklin, Morris, Caston, Camp, and Trinity, Thomas, Seminole, Grady, Doherty, Haskell, Hodgman, Finney, Gray, Muhlenberg, McLean, Montgomery, Hart, Green, Taylor, Casey, Clay, Green Lake, Salt Lake, Red Lake, Bear Lake, Lake, Peninsula, Lake of the Woods, Fond du Lac and Lac, Palma, Lax, Pulaski, Jackson Woods. Putnam, Porter, Pike, Anoka, Dallas, Camden, Hickory, Coffee, Cannon, Claiborne, Campbell, Douglas, Hanson, Gregory, Bertie, Beaufort, Bladen, Brunswick, Buncombe, Burka, Barris, Clay, Hardin, Bracken, Logan, Morgan, Osceola, Bristol Bay, Bosque, Brazos, Brewster, Blanco, Bastrop, Bowie, Burleson, Angelina, Atascosa, Nacogdoches, Anderson, Adams, Travis, Adams, Thomas, Reno, Harvey, Wichita, Caddo, Bossier, Union, Webster, Fayette, St. Clair, Nemaha, Alice, Fannin, Burnett, Llano, Guadalupe, and Liberty, Upshur, Titus, Franklin, Morris, Caston, Camp, and Trinity, Thomas, Seminole, Grady, Doherty, Haskell, Hodgman, Finney, Gray, Muhlenberg, McLean, Montgomery, Hart, Green, Taylor, Casey, Clay, Green Lake, Salt Lake, Red Lake, Bear Lake, Lake, Peninsula, Lake of the Woods, Fond du Lac and Lac, Palma, Lax, Pulaski, Jackson Woods. Putnam, Porter, Pike, Anoka, Dallas, Camden, Hickory, Coffee, Cannon, Claiborne, Campbell, Douglas, Hanson, Gregory, Bertie, Beaufort, Bladen, Brunswick, Buncombe, Burka, Barris, Clay, Hardin, Bracken, Logan, Morgan, Osceola, Bristol Bay, Bosque, Brazos, Brewster, Blanco, Bastrop, Bowie, Burleson, Angelina, Atascosa, Nacogdoches, Dutchess, Anderson, Adams, Travis, Adams, Thomas, Reno, Harvey, Wichita, Caddo, Bossier, Union, Webster, Fayette, St. Clair, Nemaha, Alice, Fannin, Burnett, Llano, Guadalupe, and Liberty, Upshur, Titus, Franklin, Morris, Caston, Camp, and Trinity, Thomas, Seminole, Grady, Doherty, Haskell, Hodgman, Finney, Gray, Muhlenberg, McLean, Montgomery, Hart, Green, Taylor, Casey, Clay, Green Lake, Salt Lake, Red Lake, Bear Lake, Lake, Peninsula, Lake of the Woods, Fond du Lac, and Lac, Paul, Mille Lacs, Pulaski, Jackson Woods. Putnam, Porter, Pike, Anoka, Dallas, Camden, Hickory, Coffee, Cannon, Claiborne, Campbell, Douglas, Hanson, Gregory, Bertie, Beaufort, Bladen, Brunswick, Buncombe, Burka, Barris, Clay, Hardin, Bracken, Logan, Morgan, Osceola, Bristol Bay, Bosque, Brazos, Brewster, Blanco, Bastrop, Bowie, Burleson, Angelina, Atascosa, Nacogdoches, Anderson, Adams, Travis, Adams, Thomas, Reno, Harvey, Wichita, Caddo, Bossier, Union, Webster, Fayette, St. Clair, Nemaha, Alice, Fannin, Burnett, Llano, Guadalupe, and Liberty, Upshur, Titus, Franklin, Morris, Caston, Camp, and Trinity, Thomas, Seminole, Grady, Doherty, Haskell, Hodgman, Finney, Gray, Muhlenberg, McLean, Montgomery, Hart, Green, Taylor, Casey, Clay, Green Lake, Salt Lake, Red Lake, Bear Lake, Lake, Peninsula, Lake of the Woods, Fond du Lac, and Lac, Paul, Mille Lacs, Pulaski, Jackson Woods. Putnam, Porter, Pike, Anoka, Dallas, Camden, Hickory, Coffee, Cannon, Claiborne, Campbell, Douglas, Hanson, Gregory, Bertie, Beaufort, Bladen, Brunswick, Buncombe, Burka, Barris, Clay, Hardin, Bracken, Logan, Morgan, Osceola, Bristol Bay, Bosque, Brazos, Brewster, Blanco, Bastrop, Bowie, Burleson, Angelina, Atascosa, Nacogdoches, Anderson, Adams, Travis, Adams, Thomas, Reno, Harvey, Wichita, Caddo, Bossier, Union, Webster, Fayette, St. Clair, Nemaha, Alice, Fannin, Burnett, Llano, Guadalupe, and Liberty, Upshur, Titus, Franklin, Morris, Caston, Camp, and Trinity, Thomas, Seminole, Grady, Doherty, Haskell, Hodgman, Finney, Gray, Muhlenberg, McLean, Montgomery, Hart, Green, Taylor, Casey, Clay, Green Lake, Salt Lake, Red Lake, Bear Lake, Lake, Peninsula, Lake of the Woods, Fond du Lac, and Lac, Paul, Mille Lacs, Pulaski, Jackson Woods. Sebastian, Montgomery, Deshay, Independence, Van Buren, Pulaski, and Arkansas, Cherokee, Marion, Power, Sheep, Donovan, Clay, Palo Alto, Chickasaw. Washington and 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 Washington. Adams, 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 Washington. Jefferson, Polk, Johnson, Johnson, Washington. Franklin, Carroll, Franklin, Carroll, Franklin, Carroll, Washington. Franklin, Carroll, Adams, Douglas, 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 Washington. Lincoln, 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 Johnson, Washington. Jefferson, Polk, Lincoln, Franklin, Washington. Lincoln, Adams, Lincoln, Adams, Lincoln, Johnson, Washington. Baker, Baker, Island, Baker, Wheeler, Wheeler, Washington. Washington, Wayne, Washington, Wayne, Washington, Wayne, Washington. Washington, Lee, Washington, Lee, Washington, Lee, Washington. Washington, Pike, Washington, Pike, Washington, Pike, Washington. Washington, Lee, Adams, Lincoln, Washington. Catoosa, Columbia, Cherokee, Oglethorpe, Atkinson, Blackley, Emmanuel, Cumberland, Buckingham, Halifax, Rockingham, Botetourt, Middlesex, Bath, Campbell. Spotsylvania, Pittsylvania, Transylvania, Accomack, Marshall, Bedford, Fillmore, Coffee, Hancock, Cerro, Gordo, Sac, Cattaraugus, Jefferson, Cuga, Fulton, Madison, Anderson, and Clarendon, McCormick, Berkeley, Addison, Jasper, Berry, Miller, Gentry, Cedar, Douglas, Callaway, Henry, Johnson, Shelby, Macon, Andrew, Mercer, Nottoway, Thomas, Logan, Banner, Wheeler, Arthur, Hooker, Kippaha, Hazen, Blaine, Grant, Luke, McPherson, Gladwin, Mason, Ogama, Meriwether, Carroll, Jasper, Pickens, Gilmer, Berrien, Tallahatchie, Issaquena, Noxubee, and Marion, Indiana, Juniata, Muscle, Shell, Marker, Nevada, San Jacinto, Tyler, Walker, Jasper, Polk, Colorado, Dickinson, Sioux, Green, Banks. Patrick, Catron, Luna, El Paso, Mesa, Los Animas, Eddie Lee, Slope, Walsh, Pope, Wells, Henry, McLean, Trail, Billings, Subatano, Laramie, Park, Powder River, Macomb, Meade, Mason, Knox, Leslie, Pulaski, Bell, Franklin, Geneva, Dale, Holmes, Lamar, Clay, Randolph, Forsyth, Queen Anne's, Wayne, Glen, Blaine, Bibb, Coffee, Pike, Chambers, Pickens, Escambia, Cherokee, Gary, Perry, Caldwell, St. Mary, Dyer, Iron, Tioga, McKean, Elk, Bradford, Green, Owsley, Breathitt, Lee, Itawamba, Gogebic, Yates, Steuben, Schenectady, Ulster, Dutchess, Lewis, Franklin, Green, Albany, Allendale, Darlington, Barnwell, Kewanee, Washburn, West, Brown, Lacrosse, Golden Valley, Iowa, Steele, Cass, Mackenzie, McHenry, Nelson, Barnes, Hettinger, Sheridan, Dunpembina, Marshall, Pennington, Dakota, Oglala, Lakota, Otsego, Oswego, Greenbrier, Clay, Iron, Gallia, Pike, Monroe, Savannah Grande, Ormiguero, Ohio, Barranquita, Henderson, Orocovi, Gamoy, St. John, Morovi, Sumner, Stewart, Blunt, Sevier, Bledsoe, Stevens, Monroe, Muskogee, Wilkinson, Warren, Harrelson, Talbot, and Bartow, Hall, Clark, White, Hart, York, Oconee, Colleton, Greenville, Aiken, Chester, Polk, Screven, Evans, Douglas, DeKalb, Byang, Clark, Washita, Bradley, White, Rockland, Faucus, Gambia, Caucus, Soane, Garfield, Columbia, Clark, King, Johnson, Park, Traverse, Meeker, Butte, Can, Stark.
And now, some county equivalents of the U.S., brought to you by Melohi.
Jefferson, Madison, Sweetgrass, Gallatin, Wapello, Lucas, and Wayne, Washita, Custer, Canadian, Sutter, McCurtain, and Cimarron, Blaine, Noble, White, Carroll, Gates, Passport, Terrell, Vermilion, Vernon, Sabine, Newton, Neshoba, DeSoto, Panola, Comanche, McCulloch, and Green, Amelia, Mecklenburg, Nottoway, Lunenburg, Giles, Buchanan, and Bland, Hanover, Caroline, King, and Queen, Smith, Alpine, Chester, Kit Carson, and Grand, Beaver, and Bacchus, Watson, Lavaca, Brown, Callahan, Allison, Hunt, Harrison, Muscatine, Appanoose, Woodbury, Henderson, Parker, and Blunt, Jefferson, Baltimore, Clint, Comorillo, La Piedra, Coamo, Monroe, Decatur, Montgomery, Kerr, Erie, and Reagan, Burnett, Taylor, Clark, and Bureau, Scotts, Bluff, and McDonough, Pierce, Madison, Cumming, Cheyenne, Morrill, Brown, Kimball, Howard, Miami-Dade, Orange, Alachua, Citrus, Columbia, Collier, Broward, Zavala, Medina, McMullen, Alpina, Wayne, Roscommon, Dickinson Bay. Flecker, Zapata, Live, Bayo, Baja, Anyaco, Penguilla, and Clay. Palo Pinto, San Augustine, Tarrant, Cherokee, Ronalds, and Dimmitt, Tom Green. Coryell, Montegda, and Leon Gillespie, Prince Edward, Prince William Green. Pike, Harrison, Henry Scotto, and LaRue, Russell, Metcalf, and Carter, McCreary. Breckenridge, Jessamine, Henderson, Crittenden, Livingston, Genesee, Erie. Cedar, Yuyu, Uthwell, Comanche, Gherkin, Fisher, Payne. October, Lauderdale, Kemper, Clock, Carroll Hill, Laurel, McCracken, and Wayne. Lama and Clearwater, Wheatland, and Broadwater, Ponce, Junta, and Lade. Laja and Guanica, Umaca, Codosa, Florida, San Manchale, Rio Grande, Canova, Trujillo, Baltado, Bajadora, Bayamon, Yaku, Culebra, Atillo, Guayama, Northeastern Connecticut, Western Connecticut, Naugatuck Valley, Deer Lodge, and Reveille, and Mocha, Aguado, Rincon. Here goes. East Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Crawford, Orange, Indiana, and then Vinton's Dudley's populace of Ohio, Chalk to Sumter, Alabama, up to Silver Bow, Montana, then there's Denver, Colorado, Custer, Boise, Idaho. Texas has Austin, nowhere near Austin, Cortland in New York, Suffolk, NMA has Boston, District of Columbia, and Florida, Levy, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Sequatchie, Tennessee. Elvis probably never went there, I don't know. Gloucester's in New Jersey, east of Jefferson, Missouri. Richmond City's in Virginia, South Dakota has Gerald, Susquehanna, Pennsylvania, Androscoggins up in Maine, and here is Providence, Rhode Island, Sussex, Delaware, called Belknap, New Hampshire, just a quick John, Lamoille and Rutland are up in Vermont. Capital, Connecticut, so pretty in the spring, and Kansas has Comanche, Minnesota, Koochaching. I always wondered why Wacko didn't say anything here. Juneau's in Alaska, Gosper, Lincoln in Nebraska, Davy Franklin out in North Carolina, and then Trempealeau, Wisconsin, and Skamania in Washington, Pima, Arizona, Clare, Calhoun, Michigan, Warren, Mississippi, and Woodford, Illinois. Here's Honolulu, Hawaii, oh boy, South Carolina with Saluda down the way, and Arundel, Carroll, Maryland near Chesapeake Bay. That's like Chesapeake, Virginia. Natrona's in Wyoming, and perhaps you make your home in Cache and Weber, Utah, where the buffalo roam. Lamar and Lumpkin, Georgia, Addie Foster, North Dakota, and you can live in Franklin in your old Kentucky home. Klamath and Oregon, from there we join. Little River, Arkansas, Iowa's got Des Moines, Sacramento, California, Oklahoma has alfalfa, Braxton, West Virginia, and Nevada, Esmeralda. That's only a fraction so far. Worcester, Barnstable, Nantucket, Oklahoma, Dewey, Cole, Grady, Garfield, Grant, and Stevens, Calhoun, Flagler, Seminole, Union, Davis, Lee, and Henry, Leaf, Scott, Covington, and Holmes, Cleardorf, Clark, and Winston Park, and Franklin Stone, Johnson, Jefferson, Van Buren, Candy, Ojai, Norman, Clay, Carlton, Aiken, Carver, Crow, Kitson, Newton, Clinton, Ray, Davies, Worth, DeKalb, New Madrid, Grundy, Caldwell, Green, Gaye, Texas, Webster, Red, McDonald, Cascades, Rome, Scotland, Harrison, Adair, Knox, Benton, Madison, St. Clair, on top of Searcy, Garland, Jefferson, and Scott, Cleburne, Cross, St. Francis, Craighead, Pointed, Ashley, Drew, and Flathead, Boone, Pulp, Newton, Barron, Grayson, Todd, and Knott, Richland, St. Croix, Wood, Oconto, Portage, Crawford, Vernon, Dane, Mercer, Garrett, Lincoln, Boyle, Whitley, Jackson, and McLean, Nichols, Effingham, Bond, Edwards, Franklin, Whiteside, Adrain, Shannon, Sullivan, Boone, Oregon, Monroe, Jackson, Randolph, Union, Perry, Christian, Carter, Stone, and Ripley. There's Monroe, Decatur, Franklin, Hendricks, Stark, Clinton, Benton, Newton, Davies, Scott, St. Joseph, Monongalia, Miami, Wabash, Kosciuszko Park, Frio, Collin, Kaufman, Rockwell, Kimball, Concho, and Menard, Jasper, Perry, Forest, Pontotoc, Lafayette, St. Bernard, Sarasota, Charlotte, Martin, Sumter, St. Lucie, Brevard, Jackson, Lawrence, Union, Florence, Bamberg, Lee, La Maria, Aguadilla, Guayanilla, Carolina, Logan, Licking, Union, Tuscarawas, Green, Belmont, Morgan, Noble, Guernsey, Huron, Fayette, Rawson, Jersey, Mercer, Tazewell, Perry, Hardin, San Joaquin, Curry, Colfax, Towson, Cibola, San Juan, San Juan, Cheyenne, Lake Prowers, Morgan, Kiowa, and Yuma, Rappahannock, Appomattox, Brunswick, Sedgwick, Phillips, Logan, and Chelan, Round Macon, Logan, Moultrie, Kankakee, Clark, Shockton, Jackson, Upshur, Webster, Tucker, Boone, Kanawha, Jackson, Morrow, Summit, Paulden, Fulton, Lucin, Leelanau, Texas, McIntosh, Craig, Pittsburgh, Tulsa, Nowata, Kershaw, Knox, Jackson, Dixon, Grundy, Warren, Wilson, Pickett, Bradley, Lawrence, Fentress, Hawkins, Granger, Loudon, Saginaw. Someone's emailed us asking which county shape is most like a square. What a stupid question. There are like 500 counties that are at least vaguely quadrilateral. Have you seen Texas? So let's dedicate this part of the song to a bunch of those. Like Republic, Hardin, Spithet, Scott, then Uvalde, Sherman, Gray, Ionia, then Misaki Lake, Saline, Box, Butte, and Clay, Atlas, Russell, Lincoln, Norton, Logan, Wallace, Graham, Isabella, Spinka, Sutton, Sergeant, Guilford, Rockingham, Greeley, Sherman, Rollins, Stanton, Ford, and Washington, as well, Kearney, Sheridan, and Kiowa, Montgomery, Tregarwell, Cochrane, Hockley, Lubbock, Crosby, Stonewall, Nolan, Johnson, Fisher, Jackson, Eaton, Ingham, Clinton, Beverly, Palmer, Potter, Swisher, Cookie, Winter, Moda, Cochise, Weston, Goshen, Platten, Hale, Warren, Hardy, Pike, DeSoto, Fayette, Graves, and Otter Tail, Person, Caswell, Randolph, Stokes, Montgomery, Delaware, and Grant, Shelby, Boone, Tippecanoe, Green, Bendy, Calvin, Stant, Indicator, Mercer, Preble, Trumbull, Portage, Crawford, Lynn, Randolph, Flatford, Brown, Rush, Marion, Red Willow, Hamilton, Tipton, Gove, Wayne, Dark, Seneca, Vermilion, Champaign, Jasper, Cumberland, Wayne, Stevenson, Knox, Warren, Kendall, Kane.
Williamson?
It counts, it's in.
Hamilton?
Don't push it, man.
McLennan?
Well, I guess we may.
Huna and Goon?
Are you okay?
Are you seriously gonna go through every rectangle?
Yes. Osage, Lyon, Woodson, Anderson, McHenry, Gunda, Cow, Blaine, McPherson, Barton, Butler, Greenwood, Young, LaSalle, Walworth, Jefferson, Eau Claire, Dunbarron, Marshall, Union Falls, Elkhart, Hamilton, Green, Madison, Rock, Martin, Douglas Hall, Grundy, Iroquois, Macoupin, Jasper, Huntington, Green, Price, Shiawassee, Oakland, Livingston, Grant, Hamilton, S. Rice, Osborne, Wilson, Adair, Cali, Franklin, Bourbon, Cherokee, Allen, Jefferson, Cass, Marion, Neosho, and Saline, Lawrence, Barton, Taney, Ozark, Howell, Vernon, Dade, Manhaska, Midland, Gratiot, Hills, Delano, Enuego, Branch, Kalkaska, Chautauqua, Morton, Seward, Stevens, Harper, Meade, and Clark, Logan, McIntosh, Lamar, McPherson, Dickey, Ransom, Stark. If your county's made of islands, then a square you'll never be. There are loads of territories that are mostly MTC. Howland Island, Jarvis Island, Johnson, Atoll, Midway Islands, Community, Bass Island, Palmyra, Atoll, Wake Island, Western, Eastern, Swains Island, Mono Island, Rose Island, Saipan, Rhoda, Northern Island, Stanian, and Guam. Haldani, Hitchcock, Furnace, Harlan, Franklin, Webster, Gage, Knuckles, Thayer, Fillmore, Jefferson, York, Ringgold, Taylor, Page, Pat, Cheyenne, Labette, Miami, Allen, Crawford, Clean, Brooks, Martin, Mitchell, Howard, Andrews, Upton, Shackleford, King, Brooks.
Is Calvin Square?
Well, it's getting there.
Lafayette?
All set.
Freestone?
That can't be shown.
Huerfano?
Where for no? O'Brien, Wright, Buchanan, Emmett, Mitchell, Osceola, Buena Vista, Pocahontas, Wexford, Anascota, Macosta, Montmorency, Crawford, Kent, Kalamazoo, Cass, St. Joseph, Rock, Dodge, Outer, Gamey, Waukesha, Rock, Sioux, Aurora, Sanborn, Minor Lake, McCook, and Faribault, Moody, Davis, and Fall River, Bennett, Harding, Marshall, Holtz, Beetle, Hamlin, Brookings, Edmonds, Brown, Hutchinson, Divide, Rolette, Towner, Stutzman, Kidder, Bowman, Cavalier, Todd, Hyde, Clark, Kingsbury, Waseca, Manny, Haha, Perkins, Day, Cherry, Coddington, Butte, Sheridan, and Dawson, Griggs, and Jay, Becker, Lyon, Lincoln, Stevens, Grant, Josh, Topman, Noman, Polk, Dawson, Boren, Scurry, Ector, Midland, Sterling, Glasgow, Coke, Chase, Celine, Rushfield, Lips, Mitchell, Sumner, Marshall, Brown, Washera, Lynn, Lancaster, Joel, Kingman, Ellsworth, Campbell, Niobrara, Lamb, Ottawache, Stewart, Perkins, Johnson, Pawnee, Kent, Custer, Dual, Valley, Greeley, Sherman, Garfield, Bent.
Wayne and Jones?
Well, I suppose.
Otoe?
The river, though.
Limestone?
There's that little slant.
Van Zant?
Van Camp. Listing every county that's a square is really such a pain, and inevitably barely any have a rhyming name. But I have to match the song, so as I'm sure you've got the gist, here are tons of ones in Iowa in this compacted list. Winnebago, Worth, Howard, Winneshiek, Fayette, Floyd, Humboldt, Franklin, Butler, Bremer, Webster, Hardin, Blackhawk, Delaware, Crawford, Carroll, Boone, Story, Marshall, Tama, Benton, Lynn, Jones, Shelby, Guthrie, Dallas, Iowa, Cedar, Adair, Madison, Warren, Keokuk. Nobles, Pepstone, Sealand, Wells, Wadena, Hubbard, Taylor, Freeborn, Swifton, Mower, Wanton, Wanflood, Motley, Murray, Baylor, Oldham, Hartley, Dallam, Dustwith, Hansford, Randall, Roberts, Lynn, and Apache's very, very long and thin. Why Sample, Lipscomb, Montgomery, Moore, Castro, Carson, Pope, Dickens, Donnelly, Armstrong, Collins, Rutschak, Briscoe, Antelope, Stevens, Haskell, Bailey, Childress, Yoakum, Terry, Garza, Gaines, Archer, Mason, Sutton, Hutchinson, Clark, Throckmorton, and Keith.
That doesn't rhyme.
Okay, well, we ran out of squares, so let's just finish the song with no theme. Grant Summers, Calhoun, Gilmer, Lewis, Mercer, Richie, Mingo, Yazoo, Rankin, Calhoun, Yellowbush, Winston, Tisha, Mingo, Baker, Early, Mitchell, Colquitt, Irwin, Coffee Cook, Crawford, Taylor, Huston, Baldwin, Hancock, Wasco, Lincoln, Crook, Macon, Bullock, Russell, Shelby, Chilton, Elmore, Tallapoosa, Morgan, Colbert, Marshall, Limestone, Coleman, Butler, Tuscaloosa, McDowell, Alexander Wake, Montgomery, Scotland, Butler Lake, Montgomery, Wheeler, Trutland, Tatnall, Patoka, Push, Mataha, Haskell, Venango, Bedford, Somerset, Wyoming, Chester, Burst-Malad, Northumberland, Montgomery, Blair, Lycoming, Schuylkill, Delaware. Lawrence, Johnson, Newton, Clayton, Morgan, Yolo, Napa, Butte, Forest, Perry, Armstrong, Lackawanna, Snyder, Wayne, Paiute, Sumter, Wilcox, Dooley, Camden, Chattahoochee, Bryan, Paulding, Appling, Telfair, Charlton, McIntosh, Chattooga, Upson, Spalding, Jeff Davis, Stewart, Lincoln, Bentley, Albert, Jenkins, Bacon, Bidlin, Gwinnett, Oconee, Candler, Putnam, Chatham, Macon, Santa Barbara, Orange River, San Marin, San Bernardino, Union, Anson, Durham, Surrey, Yancey, Warren, Coconino, Bedford, Richland, Surrey, Powhatan, King William, New Kent, Sampson, Duplin, Onslow, Robinson, Lenore, Northampton, Dan, Fulton, Hickman, Ballard, Nelson, Oldham, Trimble, Caldwell, Canton, Hocking, Athens, Ashtabula, Petroleum, Missoula, Mojave, Gila, Yuma, Avoyles, Catahoula, Logan, Crawford, Franklin, Benton.
Any more interesting comments come in?
What? No, I made that up at the start. Madison, Pearl River, Yadkin, New Hanover, Merrick, Dawson, Colfax, Richardson, Cedar, Thurston, Dodge, St. John the Baptist, Woodruff, Evangeline, Gilchrist, Hamilton, Glades, Tombs and Glasscock are lurking, Quitman, Madison, Long, Harrison comes along, Fremont, Bonneville, Granville, Song, Sebastian, Worth, Harrisonburg, Covington, Rio, Arribador, Clinton, Monroe, Johnson, Phelps, Ivanito, still more. Chugach, Copper River, Skagway, Camden, Warren, Ocean, Cape May, Mercer, Salem, Bergen, Huron, Essex, Sussex, Pikeman, Buren, South Central Connecticut, York, Southeastern Connecticut, White Pine, Story, Wetzel, Tyler, Seneca, Shenango, Schuyler, Tompkins, Warren, Allegheny, Delaware, Gordon, Henry, Richmond, Wilkes, Decatur, Ware, Hawkins, Sully, Potter, Campbell, Pennington, Camas, Twin Falls, Cajabennock, Bingham, Bonner, Lincoln, Ada, Fayette, Fleming, Brock, Grenada, Lake, Sonoma, Eldorado, Fresno, Lassen, Bannock, Grant, Morris, San Miguel, Quadonia, Anna, Lake, Clay, Perry, Spencer, Gibson, Posey, Switzerland, Saline, Jefferson, Ohio, Greenup, Lawrence, Kiowa, Sequoia, Potawatomi, Montgomery, Fort Benford, Lamar, Delta, Hidalgo, Starbell, Matagorda, Clayburgh, Hayes, Oasis, Wilson, B, Webb, DeWitt, Kamal, Hill, Madison, Riel, Mills, Calhoun, Jackson, Murray, Cherokee, Love, Albemarle, What a Sight, with Orange Page, Colonial Heights, Shenandoah, Highland, Floyd, Davis, Lewis, Campbell, Boyd, Montgomery, Salem, Roanoke, Manassas, Charles, City, Hope, Hopewell, Hampton, Matthews, Norfolk, Bristol, Russell, Tazewell, Norton, Loudoun, Fauquier, Arlington, Manassas, Park, James City, Fairfax, Franklin City, Polk, Kearney, Grant, Deschutes, Lane, Pecos, Hudspeth, Russ, Crane, Jackson, Allen, East Feliciana, Beauregard, Wharton, Houston, Cookwood, Erath, Johnson, Grimes, Hood, West Feliciana, Point Capee, St. James, Natchitoches, Clay, St. Clair, Maverick, Orange, Knox, Bear, Franklin, Richland, Morehouse, Lincoln, Madison, LaSalle, Miller, Union, Chico, Mariposa, Mono, Chaffee, Picken, Troop, Washakie, Archuleta, Delta, Ryan, Ray, Nylander, Churchill, Pershing, Alkali, and Clay, La Plata, Eagle, Teller, Rio, Blanco, Jackson, Elbert, Carbon, Lincoln, Teton, Sublet, Kane, Uinta, Garfield, Rich, Duchesne, Osage, LaFleur, Monroe, Adair, White, Henry, Southeast Fairbanks, Kusilvac, Dillingham, Aranac, Fairbanks, North Star, Anchorage, and Sitka, Bethel, Nome, Edgefield, Greenwood, Abbeville, Kennedy, Somerville, Edgecombe, Richmond, Stanley, Gaston, Craven, Lee, Jerome, Iredell, Catawba, Ash, Sangamon, Clark, Wabash, Clinton, Shelby, Jefferson, Lucas, Lorraine, Davidson, Perquimans, Dare, Macon, Graham, Delaware, Fergus, Phillips, Valley, Lake, Sheridan, Wayne, Richmond, Bronx, New York, Kings, Queens, Livingston, Grant, Orleans, Oxford, Waldo, Somerset, Piscataquis, Knox, Wynn, Humphreys, Perry, Hickman, Smith, Giles, Scott, Sussex, Wythe, Morgan, Berkeley, Jefferson, Wyoming, Hampshire, Lynn, Tillman, Cotton, Murray, Moore, Somerset, Baltimore, Hartford, Cecil, Calvert, Howard, Charles, Wycomico, Blue Earth, Yellow, Medicine, Sibley, Scott, Hennepin, Chatham, Harnett, Haywood, Mitchell, Martin, Pamlico, Liberty, Lafayette, Vance, Cherokee, Alamance, Izzard, Lawrence, Randolph, Fulton, Baxter, Jackson, Wayne, Pickens, Lawrence, Spartanburg, Chesterfield, Orangeburg, Beaufort, Richland, Dillon, Horry, Teton, Elmore, Blaine, Cowlitz, Lewis, Kitted, Tass, Ponderay, Clallam, Cass, Schuyler, Hancock, Henderson, Montgomery, Crawford, Lee, Walla Walla, Klickitat, Yakima, Island Platte, Cooper, Crawford, Jackson, Cape Girardeau, San Francisco, Wrangell, Haynes, Denali, Ponderay, Treasure, Tool, Hill, Cascade, Shoto, Custer, Fallon, Rosemont, Garfield, Wilson, Pitt, Allegheny, Jefferson, Sullivan, Lebanon, Bristol, Plymouth, Grafton, Stratford, Sullivan, Emmett, Miller, Red, Emory, Beaver, Grand Forks, and Pete, San Benito, Santa Cruz, San Diego, Contra Costa, Monterey, Trinity, Franklin, Berry, Stanislaus, Merced, St. Louis, Obispo, Goodyear, Brownlee, Soar, McMahon, Sherburne, Stearns, Morrison, Skagit, Brockton, Perry, Stevens, Okanagan, Moore, Bayfield, Douglas, Marathon, Dixie, Gold, Flick, St. John's, Weekly, Crockett, Lauderdale, Van Buren, Green, LaFleur, Inyo, Pueblo, Yukon, Cuyahoga, Matanuska, Etna, Dearborn, Bighorn, Clark, Rowan, Oak City, Lexington, and Buena Vista, Cabo Rojo, Arecibo, Naranjito, Glasgow, Penobscot, Lincoln, Hancock, Merrimack, Hillsborough, Cheshire. There's Hampden, Essex, Middlesex, Dukes, Norfolk, Hampshire, Orleans, Lower Connecticut, River Valley, Grand Isle, Wyndham, Okmulgee, and Lee. St. Saba, Caldwell, Range, Jeff Davis, Shelby, Newton, Harris, Ventura, San Mateo, Santa Clara, and Calaveras. Then Rio Grande, Arapahoe, and Custer, Fremont, Montgomery, Champaign, Fairfield, Putnam, Knox, Claremont, and Middlesex, Allegheny, York, Allegheny, Dinwiddie, Talbot, Frederick, Caroline, Baltimore City, Wilcox, Dallas, Green, Talladega, then Mobile, Spencer, Shelby, Anderson, Bourbon, Floyd, Presqu'île, Walton, Manatee, and Volusia, Gadsden, Leon, Swanee, Lafourche, Tala, and Jefferson, Davis, Smith, Lewis, and Clark, Lake Tillamook, Umatilla, Wallowa, Jackson, Tooele, McNairy, Madison, Haywood, Cheatham, Stark, Union, Yankton, Bonham, Lyman, Travis, Torrance, Tioga, Orleans, Broome, Chemung, Monroe, St. Lawrence. There's Mifflin, Franklin, Potter, Cameron, York, Fajardo, Owyhee Valley, Oneida, Shoshone, McDowell, Pleasants, Putnam, Pendleton, Ohio, Hancock, Monroe, Marquette, Oneida, Shawano, Polk, Racine, Manitowoc, Rice, Wabasha, Shaw, Itasca, Cook, McLeod, and Big Stone, Winona, Houston, Renville, Roseau, Yellowstone, Phyllis, Ashland, Forest, Wapaka, Redwood, Wright, Stanton, Nelson, Dickinson, Galax, Isle of Wight, Rockford, Amherst, Charlotte, Pulaski, Santa Cruz, Lynchburg, Richmond, Martinsville, Suffolk, Newport News, Greensville, Warren, Madison, Carroll, Fredericksburg, Northumberland, Terrell, Henrico, Chesterfield, Gloucester, Radford, Oliver, Coweta, Marion, Calhoun, Tiff, Randolph, Douglas, LaSalle, Boone, Pulaski, Habersham, Rockdale, Ben Hill, Tolliver, Franklin, Henry, Charlottesville, Grayson, Fulton, Fort Peoria, Mason, McDuffie, Eccles, Butts, Dawson, Miller, Crispin, Brooks, Westmoreland, Waynesboro, Frederick, King George, Prince George, Craig, and Sedgwick. There's Erie, Westmoreland, Fayette, Huntington, Dauphin, Johnson, Magoffin, Grant, and then Cleveland, Calhoun, and Kings. Kent. Morin, then Phelps, Lafayette, Pemiscot, Lewis, Cole, Buchanan, Atchison, Clark, Marion, Osage, Holt, Bollinger, Reynolds, Laclede, Sheridan, Somerset, Burlington, Hunterdon, then Cumberland, Carteret, Hancock, Rapids, West Baton Rouge, Jefferson, St. Charles, Calcasieu, Terrebonne, and Tangipahoa, St. Helena, Georgetown too. There's Monroe, DeKalb, Madison, Crenshaw, Houston, Lauderdale, Covington, Conecuh, Palm Beach, Santa Rosa, we unveil, Madison, Hernando, Pinellas, Osceola, Bradford, addressed, Petersburg, North Slope, Cabellwort, Culberson, Aleutians, West, Vanward, Henry, Harrison, Legs, Delaware, Monroe, and Erie, Hancock, Richland, Ottawa Wood, Highlands, Hendry, Okeechobee, Emmett, Montcalm, Barragus, Cool, Oceana, Manistee. There's Grand Traverse, Houghton, Lapeer, Tuscola, Menominee, Winnebago, Calumet, Pierce, Jackson, Sawyer, Marinette, Carroll, Ogle, Henry, DuPage, DeWitt, Richland, Green, Marquette, Herkimer, Mersco, Harry, and then Orange, Essex, Chippewa, Saratoga, Rensselaer, and now Hamilton and Mackinac, Webster, Union, Sharkey, Lamar, Prentice, Quitman, Genesee. There's Ascension, Red River, Wolf, Marion's in Tennessee. Pierce, Ramsey, Mercer, Morton, Grant, Emmons, Golden Valley, Ward, Burley, Benson, Richland, 2, Coos, Benton, Union, Sherman, Hood, River, Mortal, Clatsop, Allen, McKee, and Dubuque, Winkler, Peoria, Brazoria, Marion, and Will, Bugger, Red River, Sabine, Principles, Hyder, and then Kodiak, Allen, Alexandria, Culpeper, Meade, Ashland, and Williams, Miami, Defiance, and Sandusky, Columbiana, Holmes, Fox, Sutter, Carbon, Morgan, Wasatch, Sevier, and Davis, Grant, Lawrence, Custer, and Jones, Choctaw, Capaya, Simpson, Sunflower, Wilkinson, and Humphreys, Montgomery, Chickasaw, Carlisle, Warren, Allen, Hancock, Monroe, Hahn, Elkona, Santa, Lucky, Winna, Woodford, Powell, Elliott, Martin, Letcher, Clinton, Bullock, Grant, Malheur, onto Clackamas, Clinton, Randolph counties on a slant, Overton, Madison, Unicorn, Nicholas, there's Prince George's, Dorchester, Buffalo, Chippewa, Berrien, Dickinson, Chittenden, Oneida, Orange, Sullivan, Wyoming, Clark, Duval, Gonzales, Jefferson, Douglas, Morris, Marion, Pawnee, Wyandotte, Holmes, Liberal, Tremby, Wilcombe, Ramsey, St. Louis, Lincoln Falls, Church is only a dot. Owen, Lucentis, Bartholomew, Warren, Vigo, Mineral, Hinsdale, and San Juan, Fayetteville, Davis, Winnebago, Menard, Calvin, Will, Gallatin, Scott, and Choctaw. St. Louis City, Pulaski, Morgan, then Howard, St. Charles, and Livingston, Gilpin, Moffat, then we go to Boyd, Hot Springs, and Sheridan, Putnam, Randolph, Stoddard, Tripp, and Beaverhead, and Roosevelt, and Payette, Canyon, Gem, Kitsap, Snohomish, Pacific, Jefferson, Creek, Ottawa, Carter, Logan, Mississippi, Sharp, Carroll, and Madison, Cagua, Fuco, Mayagüez, and then Cataño, then Arroyo, Luquillo, Maricao, Warwick, Jennings, Whitley, Fulton, West Carolina, Assumption, St. Tammany, Frontier, Cambria, Fulton, Mercer, Lancaster, Crawford, Lawrence, Cumberland County is here, Bristol, Ontario, Chautauqua, Niagara, then Montgomery, Columbia, and Hughes, Tifton, Decatur, Benton, Lake, Carter, Lewis, Hamlin, Pettis, Schuyler, Prince Edward, and Scott, and then we have Patia, then Potawatomi, Mecklenburg, Monroe, Lowndes, Clinch, Putnam, Union, Chester, Scott, Fannin, Whitfield, Union, Clay, Cuyahoga, Wyandotte, Hardman, Hardin, Houston, Ray, Burke, Clay, and Floyd, Jones, Webster, Turner, Peach, Murray, Jackson, Pearson, Sly, Walker, Green, Virginia Beach, Beaver, Bucks, Luzerne, Lehigh, Cobb, and Raven, Mendocino, Glen, Calusa, Siskiyou, Amador, Tulare, St. Clair, Calhoun, Cleburne, Coosa, Walker, Barber, Henry, Perry, Loving, Warden, Warren, Allglaze, Allen, Brown, Edwards, Terrell, Kenny, Reeves, Madison, Muskingum Towns, Montauk, St. Genevieve, Rawls, and Pike and Putnam, Taylor, Jackson, Dade, Wayne, Northampton, Halifax, Scott, Saline, and Gasconade, Wilkes, Green, Orange, Jackson, Nash, Yakutat, Thurston, Pierce, Spokane, Chowan, Preston, Marshall, Hardy, Barber, Franklin, Jefferson, San Juan, Brentwood, Kayacum, Grays Harbor, Whitman, Benton, Lincoln, Phillips, Prairie Stone, Cameron, Washita, DeSoto, Avery, Madison, and Jones, Clark, Floyd, Harrison, Scioto, Mason, Wood, and Coahoma, Elkhorn, Iberville, East Carroll, Swain, Tiba, Lawrence, Hines, Claiborne, Lafayette, St. Martin, Wayne, Carbon, Union, Gregg, Alexander then, Nicollet and Pine, Caldwell, Allegheny, Pender, Henderson, Forsyth. There's Louvaina and Augusta, and then Lancaster was sworn. Monmouth, and then there's Passaic, Dodge, Bullock, Barrow, Franklin, Fayette, Effingham, LaPorte, Carbon, Sanders, Daniels, Webo, Prairie, Mineral, Bighorn, Barber, Stafford, Potawatomi. There's Bandera, Crowley, Kauai, Nassau, Lounswa, Culla, Liberty, Franklin, Lewis, Power Boundary, Garvin, Jefferson. Then there's Butler too, Winchester, Pocosin, and Emporia, and Louisa, Carter, Converse, Clear Creek, Camden, Polk, and Sevier. Philadelphia has many views, so do Harper, Plaquemines, and Hughes. Color in Otsego and Chartreuse, Onondaga's home to Syracuse, Rutherford, and then Marion and Brook, Raleigh, Fayette, Logan, Ronan, now let's have a look. Hereford, Lexington, Watauga, Cleveland, Polk, Saginaw, La Paz. There's Bienville, Concordia, St. Landry, Guadalupe. There's Aransas, Lampasas, Marshall, Galveston, Monroe, Lowndes, Montgomery, then Wabunsey's on a highway, Butler, Monroe, Columbia, Acadia, Macomb, Navajo, Montgomery, Marys, Leavenworth, and Atchison, and Donovan, and Bolivar, and Harrison, and Carson City, Mineral, Eureka, and McKinley, and Sierra, and Valencia, Presidio, Monroe, Hidalgo, Platte, Lyon, and the Grundy, and Louisa, and Monona, and Dakota, and Lisgard, and Montecarni, and Montgomery, and DeKalb, and then there's Morgan, and the Williams, and Shelby, and then Hancock, and Kentucky, Benton. How's about that? Berkeley, and Valverde, and Iberia, and Lawrence, and then Etowah, and Jackson, and Autauga, and Marengo, Okaloosa, Marion, and then we're on to Bolton, and then Perry, and St. Francis, Everglades, Kennebec, and Cumberland, and Livingston, and Williams, and then we get to Perry, and Columbia, and Fayette, and Lafayette, and Monroe, and Marlborough, Charleston, and Currituck, and Nance. Then we got Caneos, and then Montrose, and Otero, and then Douglas, and I-City, and the Jackson, and then Marshall. Then we go to Lawrence, and the Putnam, and then Morgan, and Mahoning, and Geauga, and Bunnell. There's Newberry, and Dorchester. Then we go to Rowan, and then Clinton, and Chisago, and the Juneau, and Columbia, Kenosha. Then there's Grant, who's in the corner, and the Fremont in the corner, and then Roberts County giving us morale. There's Loíza, Guaynabo, Yabucoa, Juana Villa. There's Villalba, and then Santa Isabel, and Marion. Then there's Barceloneta, and then Westchester, Atlantic, Doddridge, Indian River, Hillsborough, and Clarion. There's Iosco, and Michigan, and Haddon. We go west to counties, Liberty, Stillwater, Costia, near Ann Marion, Caledonia, St. Mary's, and Columbus. Then El Paso, Navarro, Edwards with iron, and then Fayette, Boys, Humboldt, Fremont, Gilliam, and Clark, Rowan, Montour, Union, Cass, Burke, Gooding, and Columbia, San Juan, Boone, Nicholas as Class Major, Rogers, Bennington, Medina, Rockingham, Williamsburg, Benzie, Grand Forks, Mineral, Northampton, Jackson, Meigs. There's Turner, Lincoln, and Yuba, Hardin, Jefferson, Davis, and Johnston. Clayton, Clinton, Ida, Plymouth, Fulton, Harris, Walton, Twiggs, Greater Bridgeport, Christian, Shelby, Edgar, Estill, Butler, Trigg, Danville, Essex, Petersburg, Southampton, Stafford, Johnston, Morris, Cumberland, and Cumberland, Pulaski, Massac, Well, Dolores, Shawnee, Riley, Hardin, Union, Washoe, Lincoln, Roger Mills, Tensaw, Claiborne, Marshall, Benton, Macon, Trousdale, Northwest Hills, Yamhill, Curry, Josephine, Multnomah, Layton, Nespers, Mason, Smith, Lanola, Jim Wells, Jim Hogg, Kendall, Crockett, Cottle, Grayson, Jackson, Stanley, Charles, Mixville, Bernalillo, San Miguel, Hardin, Chambers, Coleman, Eastland, Pocahontas, Taylor, Yale, Worcester, Garrick, Clearfield Center, Nassau, Suffolk, Putnam, Hurd, Coos, Carroll, Franklin, Essex, Windsor, Highland, Rutherford, Hopkins, Cameron, Jefferson, Wichita, Waller, Victoria, Rockcastle, Alger, Schoolcraft, Delta, Iron, Florence, Langlade, Newcastle. There's Albany, Sweetwater, Hamilton, Nemaha, Vanderburgh, St. Louis, Buffalo, Clearwater, Cottonwood, Ottawa, Allegan, Williamsburg, Maui, Kalawao. Butler, Saunders, Sarpy, Douglas, Manitoka, Kootenai, too, Roosevelt, Baca, Maricopa, Greenlee, Caribou, Summit, Daggett, Alameda, Northwest Arctic, Kleozaki, Montreal, Renville, Berkshire, Newport, Cantor, Rooster, Knox, Milwaukee, Davidson, Robertson, Anderson, Hamilton, Jefferson, Sullivan, Gibson, then Cook, Rock Island, Martin, Morgan, Hancock, Howard, Jefferson, Isabela, Vieque, Quebradilla, Ceiba, Maunabo, Agua Buena, San Lorenzo, St. Croix, Manatina, Guabo, Hot Spring, Hempstead, Howard, Dallas, Lone Oak, Faulkner, Conway, Green, Madison, Marion, Tunica, Crittenden, Harrison, Robertson, Cass on Scene, Graham, Socorro, Summit, Garfield, Boulder, Teton, Glacier, Harmon, Lake Sheboygan, Wise Sheboygan, Sumter, Fayette, Union, Hardman, Menifee, Edmonton, Gallatin, Pendleton, Marion, Callaway, Hopkins, then Christian, Lyon, Marshall, Union, Webster, Simpson, Robertson. There's Caddo, Muskogee, Okfuskee, and Jackson, and Pontotoc, Seminole, Pickaway, Latimer, Mary, Vassar, Tehama, Solano, Tuolumne, Wagner, Mays. Fairfield, Jasper, Hampton, Calhoun, Lancaster, and Cherokee, Ziba, Corson, Buffalo, Walworth, Chippewa, Menominee, Hamilton, Los Alamos, Otero, Bloomington, Sierra, Humboldt, and Imperial, Los Angeles, Del Norte, Madera, Larimer, Gunnison, Montezuma, Lincoln, Alamosa, Brookfield, Small, Jefferson, Sullivan, Knox, Vermilion, Fountain, Jasper, Sandoval, Granite, Powell, Judith, Basin, Richland, Dawson, Den, Big Alta, Willacy, Goliad, Anderson, Patricio, Fayette, Milan, Carnstor, Alta, Beckham, Alice, Cleveland, Woodford, Bryan, Pawnee, Noble, Gay, Ontonagon, Charlevoix, Muskegon, Ketchikan, Gateway, Jackson, Hamilton, Cumberland, Portsmouth, Madison, Cass, St. Thomas, Dunklin, Dixon, Dewey, Pepin, Antrim, Kenai, Peninsula, Yavapai, Mills, Clay, Sauk. Thank you so much for watching. This took me half a year, so like, subscribe, and join the Discord.